Hello Tamers, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? That's right, it is finally time to open the Jesmon and Ragnarlordmon Start Decks in the Digimon Card Game. Following the number order, let's start with ST12, Jesmon. So out of the box, we've got this set here. We can just pluck out the deck right there, and immediately behind it, we see the 6 promo cards, reprints of 6 Tamers, 1 from each color. We'll take a look at that later. And behind, we have the playmats. Let me just quickly unfold it. Alright, very nice. So on the fronts here, we basically just have the new Jesmon card artwork, kind of like a double with a silhouette behind him. And I believe on the other side, we actually have a different version of the playmat which you can use depending on your preference. And this one features the new Gankoomon artwork. But for today, since this is the Jesmon Start Deck, let's use this as our background. Okay, but before we go into the cards, I want to show you guys the brand new Digimon sleeves. And honestly, I think the Digimon Card Game has been absolutely killing it with all of their sleeves so far. I have literally bought every single official one just because the designs are so good. And first off, here we have this like a monochromatic, well not monochromatic, but very like a simple, stylistic and stylish artwork of Jesmon using just white, black and red. And it makes him look so freaking badass. Like, I just love how there's like a side shot of his face here, and then the one at the bottom shows him like cloaked in his hood. And the best part is that the Digimon Card Game logo on the bottom right is actually colored black to fit with this. Another excellent piece and awesome sleeve for all the Jesmon users. And on the right, of course, for fans of Digimon Frontier or just the Spirit Evolution mechanic and hybrid Digimon in general, we have a sleeve featuring Susanomon and the human spirits of all 10 elements at the bottom. This is just so epic, and these are things that we would have never gotten if the Digimon Card Game never came into existence, and I am still so grateful that we got this brand new card game so many years after the old one collapsed. Okay, so there we go, our sleeves. We'll look at the other two when I open the Ragnarok Start Deck, and let's look at the Jesmon deck first. So first we have the Digitama Gurimon, which is officially Gamamon's in training stage. Like, I know Gankoomon doesn't have an official baby or in training stage, but I would have preferred it if they just, just come up with something to use as the Digitama for this deck, because it's kind of weird, Gurimon being like the current anime Ghost Game protagonist baby stage. On his inheritable, during your turn, if you have 2 or more Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 1k DP. So goes well with the Jesmon, Sistermon Swarming. Then we have a reprint, a new Candlemon, which is 2 cost to play and 0 cost to evolve. Very nice, level 3. Next, Solarmon, which on all players' turns prevents either player from reducing play costs. Now this is going to be very dangerous for the new Digicross decks that are going to come out next month in Cross Encounter, because Digicross is a mechanic of playing expensive Digimon but fulfilling certain conditions in order to reduce the cost at which you play them. So Digimon like Solarmon, and we're also getting a similar one, Chikurimon, I think in the Ragnarlordmon deck as well, are gonna be quite a threat to that. And here we have our first rare, the new Gankoomon. During your turn, once per turn, when you play a Sistermon, memory plus 1. And on inheritable, during all turns, if this Digimon has Gankoomon in its name or Royal Knights in its traits, DP plus 1k. Pretty average, but I think the fact that it triggers during the opponent's turn as well can be pretty nice defensively. It has the typical new rare foiling, just a shiny card. Okay, 4 copies of that, I believe. And then we move into Meramon, yep, just a 1 cost level 4. Here we have the new Gankoomon on inheritable during all turns. It's essentially the same as Gankoomon, it just gives a plus 1k DP if you are a Gankoomon or a Royal Knight. 4 copies of that. And here, Skull Meramon is a 3 cost level 5, but in exchange his DP threshold is pretty high at 9,000. 4. And then here we have the new Savior Heckmon. On evolve, during this turn, this Digimon can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, and on inheritable, on attack once per turn, if this Digimon is a Royal Knight, you can play a Sistermon from your hand or trash at no cost. Now at a glance, this might not seem super good because his DP is only 7k, but the point is that since the on evolve, right, affects the Digimon itself, it will carry over even if he evolves. So after you evolve into Savior Heckmon, you make sure it's still your turn, then you evolve into Jesmon from there, and then Jesmon can then proceed to attack and deletes your opponent's unsuspended Mega. And of course, if you use the new option card Oz Generics together with this, you will be able to pierce through as well. And that option card is 1 cost, but becomes essentially free to play if you have a Hakumon on the field, so the synergy is pretty awesome. 4 copies of Savior Huck. Next, you have a new Volcanomon, which is red-black, 4 cost to evolve from both red and black, but it's a level 5 blocker and on Inheritable gives security attack +1. So although pretty expensive, I think for a level 5 blocker, this is not too shabby in the sense that if you feel like you don't need to have the blocker anymore, you evolve it into Jess and then he'll be able to attack for 2 checks. Oh, hold up, just 2 copies of that, and here we go! The mainstay of this start deck, Jesmon himself. And yes, it looks like, just like with the previous start decks, he has a very new kind of unique foiling to himself, where on the border, you have these kind of like jagged lines that's similar to what we've previously gotten, but within the border itself, like the blue sky behind Jesmon, it's more like a shadow foil, a bit like stained glass I guess, and it's just super cool to see Sistermon, Alforce, Vidramon, and Magnamon together, his allied Royal Knights. Although he is 4 cost to evolve, on evolve Blitz, and on attack, you may play a Sistermon from your hand at no cost, and during your turn, once per turn, when another of your Digimon is played by an effect. During this turn, this Digimon gets DP plus 3k and security attack +1, and of course, since you'll be just like the original Jesmon, since you'll be throwing down the Sistermon just by attacking, that is definitely something you are guaranteed to unlock. So comboing that with All's Generics Piercing and Savior Huckmon, it's just a really menacing combo that is almost impossible for the opponent to avoid, even if they have a really powerful level 7 Digimon. Like, the only way would be like to mitigate their losses by having a low level blocker on the side to take the hit instead, but other than that, they are still going to receive a lot of damage. Okay, and of course, being the main one, we only have 2 copies of him. And followed by the other level 6 in this deck, of course, Master and Student, we have a new version of Gankoomon as well. Black, but can evolve from both red and black at 3 cost. On evolve, you may play a Huckmon or a Digimon with Sistermon in its name from your trash. And during your turn, once per turn when your other Digimon is played by an effect, you can de-Digivolve 1 up to 2 opposing Digimon, and I think that is just really good because having 2 targets will really slow down your opponent, and as long as your opponent isn't able to do anything about Gankoomon, you basically can activate this every single turn. So it really throws the ball into the opponent's court, you know? They have to do something, otherwise you're just gonna be trapped in a loop where they can never reach their mega stage and basically can't counter-attack unless they do something about Gankoomon. And again, very nice, we see that other than the jagged lines in the border, the foiling within the artwork itself is actually pretty different from Jesmon. Some of the flames are actually glowing with foil, and there are also some dashes in the background, kind of like a whirlwind swirling around Gankoomon, really giving this artwork an awesome atmosphere. Just really gotta love Bandai for the amount of effort they put into all of these start deck cards. Okay, anyway, next we have the new Sistermon Blanc on play by trashing 1 card in your hand, draw 2 cards, very good draw source. And of course, can pump Sistermons into your trash to be summoned by Gankoomon or Savior Huckmon's Inheritable later on. And during all turns, while you have a Digimon with Huckmon in its name or Royal Knights in its traits, this Digimon gains Decoy Red and Black. So, she can sacrifice herself in order to protect your Jesmon or Gankoomon from being deleted by effects. Very diddly, 4 copies of that. And here the new Noir. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with Huckmon in its name or Royal Knights in its traits from among them to your hand, and trash the rest. During all turns, all of your Digimon with Huckmon in their name or Royal Knights in their traits gain reboots. So this basically eliminates the weakness of the original Jesmon, where although it can make an extremely powerful move in 1 turn, once you go over to the opponent's turn, it tends to be a bit weaker. So even with the DP boost from the original Noir, it is possible for the opponent to break through and defeat your Jess if they have a strong enough Digimon. But with this Noir, now it doesn't matter how strong your opponent's Digimon is. Even if they have like 20 or 30,000 DP, they can't attack Jesmon if he's unsuspended. And if they try to do something with effects, Blanc's Decoy. This is just nasty. Okay, there we go, and now we have the new option card, All's Generics for 1 cost on main. During this turn, 1 of your Digimon gains DP plus 2k. After that, if you have a Digimon with Huckmon in its name or Royal Knights in its type, memory plus 1, essentially making it free. And during this turn, 1 of your Digimon gains Piercing. On security, gain 1 memory and add this card to your hand. So, I mean, they didn't even have to give it that good of a security effect, you know, but they just had to give it this perfect security effect, which makes it even more of a fearsome card, threatening whether it's in the hand or whether it goes into security. And I believe we will be getting 4 copies of that. House Generics, and here we go! Journey of Master and Pupil. This is an option card with the Royal Knights trait. On main, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with Hakumon in its name, Sistermon in its name, or Royal Knights in its traits from among them to your hand, trash the rest, then place this card in your battle area, so that later on you can activate its delay. During this turn, the next time you evolve a Digimon, reduce the evolution cost by 1. Essentially, making it easier to pull off the Savior Huck, Oz Generics, and Jesmon combo, even if you don't have a 3-memory Tamer on the field. These new archetype-specific delay option cards are really sick. Ragnarok gets one as well, and I'm hoping that they do eventually make some for some of the other more obscure archetypes and evolution lines. And as testament to how good it is, we only get 2 copies, so you need to get 2 copies of this deck if you want to run 4. Anyway, next here we have Quake, Blast, Fire, Father, one of Gankumon's signature moves. While you have a Digimon with Hakumon or Sistermon in its name or Royal Knights in its type, you can use this card without color restrictions. Delete 1 opposing Digimon with a play cost of 13 or less, and on security, activate main. So this comes in a rare foiling and just 2 copies of that. But honestly, in a Just deck, you probably don't need an option card like this. I think I'd settle with getting 4 copies of this. And here we go! The moments that all of you have been waiting for, if you've been keeping track of all of the Digimon Start Deck so far, the super high quality memory gauges. So this time it features one side with Jesmon and one side with Hakumon in their new artworks. Very, very nice. I just love collecting these, man. They are so good and so high quality. And finally, of course, these little cards are just a sort of form of manual to help beginners learn the game for the first time. And that'll be all for the Jesmon Start Deck. One last thing, each deck also comes with a set of 6 Tamer reprints. First we have the Taichi from the first starter deck that gives all of your Digimon plus 1k DP during your turn. I love the sort of like digital network, like electrical wiring foiling there, and it looks like all of them actually have different foiling as well. So here we have the TK from Heaven's Yellow that gives all of your security Digimon plus 2k DP, so that's that, and then the Yamato from the purple Digiverse Start Deck, which during your turn when your Digimon is deleted, this Tamer can be suspended for memory plus 1, another pretty good initially purple 2-cost Tamer. And then here we have some Tamers from the boosters. These are the Davis and Ken from BT3. We Japanese format players are super happy with this preprint of Davis, which is like so insanely expensive right now, even though he's just a rare. And I'm sure his reprint, when this Start Deck comes to you guys in the English format, will bring a lot of joy to many of you international players as well. And finally, we also have the 4-cost Izzy that allows you to basically change the order of the cards at the top of your deck. Could potentially come in handy for Ragnarlord. Okay, with that, that'll be all for the Jesmon Start Deck. Let's open Ragnarlord.